Hello, boss. What's up? What's up? Welcome to a new video. So, in this video, probably this video would be one of the most important videos that I would be making on this channel because I feel most of us would have been through this phase, or probably we might again stumble on this phase sometimes. As the title of the video goes, don't become a junkie. Or what do you mean by this junkie routine? So, I'm sure that most of us would have like fallen into this pattern wherein, say, like for days together, we end up spending too much time on our phones for hours together, and then we wake up late. First of all, we wake up late. Okay, I'll define what is this junkie routine and who is a junkie. First of all, we wake up late, say like at 11 or 12, and then as soon as we wake up with too much of sleep, right, we naturally start feeling tired even after too much sleep, and we don't feel like doing any other work, and then we immediately do the most difficult thing in this world, which is to pick up our phone, and we start like scrolling through these social media platforms, or going and watching a YouTube video and ending up in some rabbit hole of like YouTube uh, playlist you hadn't even imagined that you would be like getting there, or then wondering like how did I get here, right? And then that would have taken like whatever 3 or 4 p.m. Then at 4 p.m. you'll have your first breakfast, and you'll have your breakfast or lunch, whatever. You're seeing this pattern, right? You're basically destroying our entire routine, our entire day in retrospect. And once that is done, again we go back, we start feeling tired, we probably again take a nap for 3 hours, 2 hours, and then wake up again at 5, again start scrolling your Instagram because you have that feeling that, oh, I've wasted this entire day. I don't think so I can be like even more productive or whatever. And then you again continue that same habit, and then you're like, shit, I feel bad now. It's 6 or 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Then you start watching your favorite TV show or whatever on the TV, and then it's 9 p.m. You'll have your dinner. You wouldn't even mind to take baths sometimes, and yeah, at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and then you're like, okay, fine. From tomorrow, I'm actually like being a good boy or girl, and I'll be a good boy or girl, and then I'll get back to my routine, and then you'll again start holding your phone, you'll start scrolling, you'll go to some random subreddits and whatnot, and then you wake up and see the clock, it's almost 2 or 3 a.m., and you're like, oh, I'm messed up this day too, so even tomorrow will be the same routine, and you end up doing the same thing tomorrow itself. See, I'm definitely sure that most of us would have been through this phase. So I would call this phase as like a as being a junkie or whatever. And trust me, guys, it's like a terrible phase to be in, because I would say awareness or lack of awareness is the most important thing that actually makes us fall into becoming a junkie or whatever. So my first tip would be aware of whatever you do, be aware of whatever you consume, so that you are always informed, right? You're always informed regarding whatever action you're doing right now. I'm still reading this book called Hyper Focus right now. There's a term in this called as attentional space, okay? And the author of this book sets an alarm for every hour, for every hour, say like till 10 p.m., say from morning 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. until he goes to bed. He sets an alarm for every hour just to check in what he's doing right now. And as soon as there's an alarm, you go into that state of introspection regarding whatever you're doing, and say if it's not the right thing, you immediately stop it. You immediately stop it without any regrets, and then you jump back into something that's productive, right? So I feel this might be helpful to you, or even more better if you go into this phase of being completely aware all the time, right? Or most of the time, I would say 90%. Being mindful of whatever you consume, being mindful of what you're doing right now. With that, there's very little chance that you'll go into this junkie routine. And I'm sure we would have like done the same thing. For example, we are basically delaying whatever needs to be done. Say you have an important exam coming up, and you start studying at like so the time right now, so you wake up in the morning, you do all your chores, and oh, you said you'll be like, okay, fine, let me study, but the time is 9:08, okay, 9:08 a.m. You're like, oh, I missed 9 a.m. by 8 minutes, okay, let me start at 9:30, and then you start scrolling. Then you're at 9:32, okay, oh, obviously you missed it by 2 minutes, right? So it doesn't make sense for you to start now. You'll start at 10. Guys, if you're seeing this if you're seeing this whatever pattern, it's not a good place to be in. Again, we are basically delaying, the thing that needs to be done. So don't, so tell yourself not to delay. It's okay if you've like wasted whatever 8 minutes, or if you're behind the clock by 2 minutes or whatever. It honestly doesn't matter. I know it all sounds like very relatable and childish right now, but I'm sure even I've done most of these things wherein now I'm like, oh, I had missed it by 2 minutes. What's the big deal in that? I can immediately like go back to that routine, start studying or whatever, and avoid being a junkie, right? So yeah, this is my most important tip. Don't postpone something that needs to be done, because that's the thing. So ultimately, as soon as you start postponing it, then you, as you inch closer towards that particular goal, then you would be forced to like work for long hours, work for the entire night, study for the entire night, right? Would you prefer that, or would you like prefer working whenever you're in your complete senses, whenever you're properly awake, and spend rest of the time spend rest of the time giving yourself a rest and indulging yourself in other hobbies, right? So that's the thing. So what do I mean by becoming a junkie? Somebody who doesn't. So junkie is anybody who doesn't keep track of their time, just goes with like the flow all the time for the day. I'm not saying going with the flow is not bad, guys. Not speaking in that philosophical sense, but I'm speaking in terms of lack of proper planning for a particular day, how to go about for the day and whatnot, and probably not having any fixed goals and postponing a lot of things, and just fixating yourself on social media, and just being always on YouTube, Instagram, and whatnot, and on your phone, and basically destroying your entire routine and lifestyle. And this has like long term effects too. For example, if you start this routine, if you start like becoming a junkie, okay, and then you're like, how do I correct this? You'll have to like correct this the next day by sacrificing that particular day. Let me give you an example by what I actually mean, okay? For example, say you've become junkie for a day, you've fallen into this junkie routine for that particular day, and you've wasted that complete day. Now don't be don't have this notion, okay, fine, let me compensate this by studying for the entire night or whatever. Don't. It's okay, sacrifice that one day and immediately hit the bed at the right time, and then start the next day all like being fresh and whatnot, and continue as if nothing happened. This is the only way you'll get out of this routine. Otherwise, you'll just keep telling yourself that, okay, fine, so today is Monday or today is Wednesday or whatever, I've fallen into this junkie routine for 2-3 days. The only way I'll be able to reset is until Sunday comes in or whatever, and you'll end up wasting your entire week. So my best advice would be stop right there. Don't bother. As I told, like, have that. Even if you think that it's an extreme step to have like a alarm for every hour to check on yourself, have that mental clock and have that ability to analyze whatever you're doing right now, and if it is wrong, correct it immediately and just move on, okay? The only way for yourself to land back on your feet and get back to routine is just correcting yourself at that point of time, okay, and then immediately going back to the proper routine. So that's the thing, right? A productive time or a good time never comes. You have to make that time productive. You have to make that time, you have to like basically give your best and stick to your routine, I would say. So yeah, I mean, the benefits of not being a junkie is enormous, right? Having a great routine, having a perfect headspace, and everything, be both your physical, mental well-being. You'll be in another level, trust me, once you get out of this routine. Okay, so yeah, I hope that this video helped you a lot and gave some advices on how to get away from this junkie routine, or how to lead a proper routine, right? So with that, I'll see you all in the next video, guys. Bye bye, take care, and see you all.